All right, friends, here's the deal. I want to talk to you about this recidivism article, and some people did not do it, but many of you did. So I want to talk about it so that you have some preparation to talk about it on the Melcon. So it says here, and I'm going to want you to interact with the video, okay? Just figure this like a teen version of Blue's Clues, okay? So I'm going to say stuff. You should respond. Miss Thole, if they don't respond, then just shut off the video, and apparently they're fine, okay? Like, Miss Thole, I don't need you to do anything here except for make sure that they're actually interacting with me on the video, and if not, then don't show any more of the videos, because apparently they've got it all figured out. All right, friends, so please interact. Okay, so what does recidivism mean? Okay, so this whole article is about that. In fact, it says, Crime and Punishment Vocabulary Revisit. State prisons are crowded with inmates lacking a basic education. Their dismal job prospects, dismal meaning not good, dismal job prospects mean they're likely to land back behind bars, which is... Okay. So you were supposed to go through and write the vocabulary words down, so most of you did that, which is good. You might see these again, these exact sentences on this sheet right here that I'm talking about. All right? And then there's important information in here as well. Some of you did some underlining, some of you did some highlighting, but again, I am encouraging you to take notes on this sheet. You're not going to want to go through rereading while you're trying to take the test, while you're trying to write a Melcon. You're going to want to have your thoughts already there. So I'm encouraging you to do that, all right, between now and tomorrow, which is when we have A, the vocabulary quiz, and B, the start of the assessment with this Melcon. All right? So, Gregory Davenport, a congenial 46-year-old in prison blues, shared with a visitor to the big state penitentiary here a common inmate's lament. He had left behind 2 well-educated daughters with whom he could not correspond because he could not read. But Davenport, serving time for burglary conviction, is one of the lucky ones. He's finally made progress in his long struggle with illiteracy, a breakthrough he described while holding one of the more sought-after prizes in California's overburdened correction system, a classroom seat. Okay? So what are they saying there as far as what is one of the most sought-after prizes in California's overburdened correction system? What is that? All right. All right. Why is it, do you suppose, that a classroom seat is being described as one of the most sought-after prizes in California's overburdened correction system? I guess we should say this first. What do they mean by an overburdened corrections system? Okay, so what is meant by an overburdened corrections system that the most sought after prize is a classroom seat? Any other thoughts on that? Okay, so who's Gregory Davenport again? If you don't know, look at your sheet. Remember, if you're not answering that, Miss Thole's going to have to shut this off, so please... Who's Gregory Davenport? Again, thank you. Okay, so he had to wait a year to get into a class of in a cramped trailer at the prison in Norco, which is a California rehab center. But now he gets 6 hours a day of instruction and help with a learning disorder. Okay? So what is he getting out of this? Sorry. What he says, excuse me, I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you, but he says, when I came in, I couldn't read at all. He's from a rough neighborhood in Los Angeles. Now I don't have to ask the other guys to read my letters for me. When I want to write a letter, I get my dictionary and I can do it myself. So this isn't even necessarily about him like getting educated so that he can get his GED or that he can go to college someday. What is it that he is getting out of being in these college classes? What does he get out of it personally? All right. I mean, like, isn't that sad to think that people that are, in jail, and even people who aren't in jail, like people in this school right now, can't read a letter if it comes to them in the mail because they don't know how to read. They can't write a letter, not because they're too lazy, but because they don't know how to write. Or maybe they're embarrassed about like their spelling or their inability to put a sentence together. So this guy is learning. Convicts typically enter the correction system burdened with loads of heavy emotional baggage, drug addiction, alcoholism, scars from childhood abuse, mental illness, and family meltdowns. Okay, so what are they saying there about convicts? Okay. So it goes on to say, the most common companions for those who have failed to find a place in the legitimate world are illiteracy and stunted educational backgrounds. Let me say that again. This is the last sentence of that first section. The most common companions for those who have failed to find a place in the legitimate world are illiteracy and stunted educational backgrounds. What is illiteracy? Ms. Thole, if they don't know, you can feel free to let them know there. What is illiteracy? Okay. So, it asks you here, number one, what is illiteracy? Some people didn't answer that question. I think they thought maybe, that's just like a subtitle. So if you didn't fill that in, you need to know what illiteracy is. So write it down for number one if you didn't have that. All right? And also, we're going to pause just for a minute here. And while Ms. Thole gets the next video on, you can write some notes on that first section. What does it mean? How are these people impacted as they're in jail? All right? Do that now.